I do remember very clearly when we first looked at this house, and it's just the two of us, our first thought was, I don't think we need this much room. And then we kind of looked at each other and we were like, house concerts.
I want to have magic everywhere. I'll put lights out, I'll put candles everywhere. I'll make the home feel really comfortable and magical so that when people enter, they're in the mood of something inspiring that's gonna happen.
A few shows ago, one of the artists on stage started crying. The song she'd written was so emotional for her. To be able to perform it in front of, 75 people who were listening made a huge difference.
It was overwhelming.
A house concert? We answer that question a lot, actually. It's oddly enough exactly what it sounds like. It's a concert in somebody's house, in this case our house, and it's a lot like a venue concert, except it's just way more casual and intimate.
I would say it's almost like an elaborate dinner party.
Just a big community that supports music, and people seem to like that sense of belonging, of getting together.
But that's often what happens at house concerts is they're not household names for the most part. There are a lot of emerging artists that are looking to get some exposure. So it gives them a chance to play, to develop their fan base, to maybe sell some CDs, to find a place to crash.
Yeah.
We live in Stansted. When we moved there 9 years ago, there was no live music. We were trying to get creative about, how do you bring music into a town where there aren't venues. I said to my wife that I was going to invite bands to come play in our living room. She rolled her eyes, and then I dropped a bunch of CDs on her desk about 3 months later and said, these are the bands that are coming. And it's been 50 concerts later.
But I kept the pace steady. I was ready to see the sun again. Life is stormy, baby. Through endless days of snow, I was drifting. I was keeping on until I was swallowed by the fall.
It can go a lot of different ways. Sometimes I just get paid a flat fee, or it could be a ticketed event. Sometimes I've done house concerts where it includes like a buffet and your ticket gets you food and all this stuff. Sometimes it's a potluck. It can change and it does change with every venue.
The idea is to connect people and artists, and our particular model is that we start with a potluck dinner so that we break down any anonymity, and we introduce the artists to their audience so that they can connect as humans first, and then there's a concert.
Everybody has, different musicians that they like and bring different touches. We actually don't have tickets. We do a RSVP because the whole model we set this up on is that it's a private event. We invite people They make donations to the band, and then the band keeps those donations.
At this point, these have always been public, but never like, you know, we're not putting out signs and advertising. It is a word of mouth kind of thing.
It's gonna feel like running to nothing, going nowhere fast, feels like crawling, stalling, coming in.
Not your typical like stage audience experience. You kind of get thrown into a very small space generally, and you're sort of forced into these interpersonal dynamics that are kind of more difficult than the average show at a venue or a festival.
And how cool, you could be anywhere in the whole world and you're sitting here listening to me play these songs I make up. It's so cool. Oh, what a world.
We've been to ones where it's literally just in somebody's living room and they move some chairs in and no amplification, no lights or anything. We've been to some that are very professional.
There is a little bit more freedom because, you know, usually you're running your own sound, so you can get everything how you want it.
The prospect of it being in somebody's house, he could have it go as long as he wanted to.
I love the idea that we focus on emerging voices. We get about 200 proposals a month from around the world. Yeah, it's crazy. And then we book artists.
Artists will go through Hal, because Hal knows all the artists, and because of the Stansted house concerts that he has built. He uses the farm as one of the venues.
Generally, almost all the time, we're putting the band up, we're feeding them dinner, we're feeding them breakfast. That is the expense we absorb, and then, like Doug said, 100% of the proceeds go to the artist.
When I first started playing and touring and booking shows myself, I would do a lot of house shows. Anything I could play, I would just try to do it.
House concerting can be very sustainable and can pay for other expenses on the road that when you're getting started and you're building a fan base, you don't always have a great draw. A lot of people don't necessarily come those first few times you play in a new city. And so having what we like to call an anchor gig, by having a house concert that you know is going to provide the financial and moral and loving support that we need to do what we do.
Do we enjoy letting strangers into the house so they can have this experience? Yes, we do, because it's such an overwhelmingly positive response.
If you want to have these kind of experiences, you have to be open to saying, it's not just my friends, and mostly it's people who love music.
All I see are lights. 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 All I see are lights.
The whole vibe of a house concert is our open home, open arms, all are welcome. You may come as a stranger, but you leave with a million friends.
People are very relaxed, they're themselves. A lot of people here tonight did not know each other. Some people who came tonight, I did not know, I had never met. Even the artists, these artists I had never met before, but it's as if we have known each other for a very long time.
Surrounded by breakable things.
You're looking out out into a living room of dimly lit people, and you can see their twitches when they hear a certain lyric. You can literally see a tear streaming down their face. You can see them like elbow their neighbor when they've said something that, you know, is applicable to them. And oh, hello. And also animals. House concerts are great for animal experiences. Look at this. I don't even know who this is, but I love him, her.
It makes me a lot more nervous. I feel like when I'm just playing to like less people, because you're like, okay, I can see everybody's eyes. They're all looking at me. I'm nervous, you know, like that kind of thing. But it's really, you're playing for your friends, or it's just a lot lighter of a show.
Passion is worth leave it here, escape the earth.
The first time they open their mouth and start to sing, that it just feels like they're singing directly to you and to your soul.
Many nights where we're home after the show's over, and we just look at each other and we're like, wow, that was incredible. And it happens all the time.
Flowers in the window, drenched in golden light. Thank you. How's your coffee in the morning? They make it just the way you like. You have a stroll around the neighborhood midday, singing